Welcome to Coreth Health. Have you ever felt rushed during intimacy and wished you could slow things down without resorting to pills or medications? You're not alone. Many people experience that moment when the pressure builds too quickly, leaving them wishing for more time. Today, I'm here to help you with practical, science-backed strategies to extend those intimate moments naturally and confidently. I'm Margaret, and before we dive in, if you'd like more evidence-based tips like these, please hit like, leave a comment about the techniques you're curious about, and consider subscribing. Thanks for supporting Coreth Health. We've got a lot to cover. Let's dive into the first powerful technique, edging, which means bringing yourself close to climax and then backing off before starting again. It may sound a bit technical, but research shows that this practice helps train the brain to tolerate higher levels of arousal before reaching orgasm. By pausing at that peak threshold, you're essentially teaching your nervous system to delay gratification. How often have you caught yourself thinking, "I'm almost there," and then let it go? That's the moment you use for edging. A practical way to start. During solo or partnered play, when you feel that tipping point, take a few deep breaths, slow everything down, maybe even pause for 10 to 15 seconds, and then resume. With consistency, over sessions, you may find your stamina improving noticeably. Now, here's another technique you might find illuminating. Next up is breath control and pelvic floor exercises. Your breath is deeply linked to arousal and tension. Studies have shown that slow, diaphragmatic breathing activates the parasympathetic nervous system, the calming branch of your autonomic nervous system, which can slow arousal and delay climax. Try inhaling for a count of 4, exhaling for a count of 6, and doing this throughout intimacy. Simultaneously, engaging the pelvic floor, the same muscles you use to stop urine, can act as a physical throttle when you feel the point of no return approaching. Try a simple exercise before getting intimate. Tighten those muscles for a count of 3, relax, and repeat 10 times. This primes your system. Then, during arousal, those quick contractions can momentarily diffuse rising pressure. Have you ever noticed how a deep breath eases tension? It's science-based for a reason. But there's more to explore. Let's shift to mental distraction techniques. When arousal becomes intense, the brain's reward center goes into overdrive, pushing you closer to climax. Shifting focus to something neutral, like the lyrics of a song, counting backwards, or focusing on your breath, can reduce that hyperarousal. This doesn't mean you're not present or enjoying the moment. It just nudges your nervous system to register less intensity. Some studies reveal that people who use mild cognitive distractions during high arousal phases can extend their time by significant percentages. Next practical tip. Practice gentle mental redirection in solitary moments. Notice how much it delays climax, then bring that skill into shared intimacy. Could a song lyric mid-moment really help? Believe it or not, it can. Here's another revealing insight. Now, consider warming up together, physiologically and mentally. Prolonged foreplay that includes kissing, touching, or erotic massage primes both body and mind without pushing straight into high arousal territory. Research suggests that gradual buildups, rather than abrupt jumps, lead to more sustainable arousal cycles. Think of it as revving a car slowly before racing off, instead of flooring it from zero. Try establishing a ritual, maybe a slow body scan massage, soft caressing, or playful touching, to stretch that warm-up phase. This isn't just about delaying climax. It's about cultivating intimacy and reducing performance anxiety. That anxious spike often accelerates reaching climax, so this helps both mind and body. Speaking of performance, here's another surprising tip. Let's talk about body positioning and movement variation. Certain positions create more stimulation and thus speed things up. Research shows that being on top during intercourse, for instance, can produce more intense clitoral or penile stimulation and shorter time to orgasm. Alternating positions during intimacy to less intense ones, even temporarily switching to gentler angles, can slow the pace. Simple position shifts like side by side, spooning, or even incorporating standing at the edge of the bed can decrease direct stimulation and prolong duration. Have you ever noticed how a small change in position changes the pace? It's your cue to gently suggest movement variation during the moment. Now, let's explore a tool that's less talked about. How about introducing a cold or cool sensory input before climax? Evidence indicates that mild exposure to cold, like placing a cool, damp washcloth on your forehead or the back of your neck, can trigger a mild sympathetic-parasympathetic switch that calms arousal slightly. Some therapists even recommend this during edging. A small interruption like that can help reset the arousal dial enough to continue longer. This tip is especially helpful for people who tend to rush through intimacy out of excitement. So, have a cool cloth nearby, just enough to feel a slight chill after bringing yourself close. Could that chill really help? It often does. Here's another unconventional but science-oriented insight. Menstrual cycle-aware timing can also play a role. While it's more commonly talked about in fertility communities, there's research showing that baseline sexual response varies across the cycle due to fluctuating hormone levels. During phases of lower estrogen and testosterone, like early follicular days, some people may naturally take longer to reach full arousal, while in high estrogen phases, they might climax quicker. So if prolonging intimacy is your goal, try not to stress about performance during those high hormone days. Instead, lean into the days when arousal builds more gradually. This isn't a pill, but understanding your body's rhythm can give you more control. Now, let's wrap up with something simple but underrated. Finally, remember the power of communication and feedback during intimacy. It might sound obvious, but it's often overlooked. Asking softly, "Is this good pace for you?" Or, "Do you want more or less intensity?" not only shows care, it gives you permission to regulate together. Partners who practice this feedback loop, either verbally or through subtle nonverbal cues, report staying in sync longer and reducing anxiety-triggered rushes. Research in sexual satisfaction consistently highlights communication as a key driver of intimacy longevity. Practical tip: decide on a safe word or a gentle cue pre-intimacy. That way, when you're approaching the brink, you can signal and slow things down collaboratively. Doesn't that sound empowering? So, let's bring it all together. Edging trains your brain. Breath control and pelvic floor strengthen your physical throttle. Mental distraction tempers arousal. Warm-up rituals reduce anxiety spikes. Position shifting adjusts stimulus. Cool sensory interrupts reset arousal. Hormone cycle awareness tunes timing. And intentional communication anchors the experience. Each strategy is rooted in research on arousal physiology and behavior, yet they're natural, accessible, and safe. No prescriptions required. And they honor intimacy as a shared, mindful experience. Before you experiment, a gentle reminder. Every body is different, every person unique. What works beautifully for one couple may need adaptation for another. That's normal and part of the exploration. If at any point things feel uncomfortable or overwhelming, check in with a healthcare provider or sex therapist for guidance. I hope this conversation opens a new door for you to enjoy intimacy on your own terms. Longer, deeper, more conscious. If these ideas resonated, please give this video a thumbs up, share your thoughts or experiences in the comments, and subscribe so we can continue bringing these helpful, science-based conversations to your living room. And, as always, while these strategies are natural, if you're considering changes to your sexual health or routine, I encourage you to consult a qualified healthcare professional to ensure what's best for your unique situation. Stay healthy, stay connected, and we'll see you in the next Coreth Health video.